So with the fall of the Assad regime, a remarkable, very quick fall where he fled to Moscow, it looks like these rebels are taking hold, and Israel, thinking that they're not going to take any chances with these rebels, that many of them have expressed jihadist intentions, and while we don't know ultimately who will form the government and who will lead Syria now that the Assad regime has fallen, Israel's saying, sorry, we're not going to risk having this new, most likely jihadist regime having all of Assad's weaponry, his naval fleet, his chemical weapons, and they also now need to, because they don't know how the new Syrian regime will act vis-a-vis Israel and the border that they share with Israel. Israel has decided they have to secure an area on Mount Hermon in order to stave off ISIS, Al-Qaeda, and other comparable groups. But predictably, we've seen condemnation of Israel by Turkey's leader Erdogan. Frankly, whenever I see condemnation of Israel, to me it just means Israel does something to allow herself to live, to protect her security, and condemnation is just whenever she does something like that. Israel tries to get rid of Hamas and she's condemned for genocide. You know, I discovered recently that there were actually United Nations condemnations of Israel for rescuing hostages in Entebbe. Likewise, there were condemnations at the UN General Assembly when the Mossad captured Adolf Eichmann, the chief architect of the Holocaust. So this is just a tale as old as time. But I want to get Ben Shapiro's reaction to this for Turkey's condemning of Israel's incursion into Syrian territory. He said Israel is securing an area on Mount Hermon that amounts to 230 square kilometers to stave off Al-Qaeda, ISIS, and other comparable groups. But Turkey, meanwhile, this is the irony of it all. It's that, you know, they are what they accuse you of, that famous adage. Turkey is currently occupying approximately 9,000 square kilometers of Syrian borderland, largely in order to fight the Kurds, and their sponsored terrorist group just overthrew the entire Assad regime. So the irony is just unbelievable. Now, just for a little bit of context for people who aren't aware, Turkey has been actively involved in northern Syria for years, with its military controlling significant portions of the region. Turkey currently occupies an estimated 9,000 square kilometers in northern Syria, stemming from various military operations since 2016, including Operation Euphrates Shield, which targeted ISIS and Kurdish forces, Operation Olive Branch in 2018, which focused on capturing Afrin from the Kurdish People's Protection Units, which Turkey considers a terrorist group due to its links to the Kurdistan Workers' Party, and Operation Peace Spring, which created a buffer zone between the Kurdish-controlled areas and Turkey, aimed at resettling Syrian refugees. Now, Turkey has all kinds of justifications for these, but it's just, you know, a remarkable kind of example of hypocrisy, where basically you have Israel saying, right, we need to act unilaterally to protect ourselves, even if it may be challenging potential agreed borders because a regime has fallen. But meanwhile, when Turkey does that with regard to Syria, no, it's totally fine. They can do it for their national security, which is the justifications they use. They say, you know, it's to secure their border, to combat the YPG. They'll say it's to prevent the establishment of an autonomous Kurdish region near its southern border. They'll say it's to provide areas for voluntary resettlement of Syrian refugees, but they'll give all kinds of, but they'll do this, you know, of their own accord. But meanwhile, when Israel does this for basic security needs, it's considered outrageous, terrible, criminal, etc., etc. Part of the reason I'm making this video is to help you see the pattern here, the pattern that. And to make it clear, because I know the accusations are going to come out, and they'll continue to come out, that this is part of Israel's plan for greater Israel. It shows that they're colonial, occupiers, all these things. And I want to make it clear that Israel has every justification, every right, every reason to do what they're doing for her own security. I want to show you Prime Minister Netanyahu's message about what Israel is doing. He's put out a new message recently, But before I do, I want to tell you briefly about something really important. So if you're watching JTV, we've been having a pretty big impact online in telling the truth about Israel, in creating positive associations with Judaism, the Jewish people, to try and demystify us and our story, and to tackle the ignorance that's out there. And JTV's had an enormous impact, but there's a lot more that we'd like to do, and we're doing a fundraiser to scale our growth, and we've got all kinds of plans to grow this channel. Now, what we want to do is explained in a very short video. I want you to watch it, and then I'll be back on the other side. Have a quick watch and let me know. The world is full of lies.
That Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu bear criminal responsibility.
The truth is under attack.
Which river, which sea? So you don't know the.
From the media to the UN to celebrities, lies reign supreme. But the thing about the truth is that no matter how dark a room of lies, if you light one candle of truth, it can light up the whole room. That's why I created JTV, the global Jewish YouTube channel. We have been lighting the flame of truth on social media. We believe that the key to defeating anti-Semitism isn't just in fighting the hate, but it's about creating pro-Semitism and sharing the truth. There's nothing inevitable about anti-Semitism. We just need to tell our story with confidence, pride, and love. We believe that telling the truth, exposing the lies, and sharing the wisdom and beauty found within the Jewish story and the ideas of Judaism can transform the world. We're reaching millions of people all around the world from all backgrounds and perspectives. Every day we are transforming people's views about Israel, Jews, and Judaism. How do we know? Because they tell us. But there's so much more we can do. It's time for us to build a team to accelerate our growth and produce way more content that can appeal to even more people. We want to hire more presenters, start doing documentary series, and way more. And if we do that, JTV will start competing with the other big media players who peddle anti-Israel narratives. And that's where you come in. I'm asking you to please partner with us on our journey to spread the truth to the entire world by donating whatever you can to this fundraiser. Together, we will harness the power of social media to shine the light of truth to the whole world. Thank you so much for your support. So what do you think? This is really, really important. We've been growing a lot, having a phenomenal impact around the world, but we want to do so much more to compete with the anti-Israel online equivalents. And I've shown you in that video our vision for what we want to do to grow even faster. So I'm asking, please, would you consider clicking on the link in the video description of this video and donating to our crowdfunder campaign? It officially launched in just a few days, but you can already donate now. And you truly will be a partner with us. You'll be helping us, assisting us, and therefore becoming a partner with us in sharing and spreading the truth to a world that desperately needs it, that desperately needs truth, that desperately needs moral clarity and moral direction. And that's what the Jewish people were really created and designed to provide the world with. So please, please do click on that video link. Now, sorry, the donation link. Now, let's just get back to this story. I want to show you a clip of Netanyahu speaking, where he talks about what Israel's been doing in Syria. Have a watch. Hold on, I'm just going to get rid of the title in the background so that you can look at the subtitles for those who don't speak fluent Hebrew. Okay.
אין לנו כוונה להתערב בענייני הפנימיים של סוריה, אבל בפירוש יש לנו כוונה לעשות מה שצריך לדאוג לביטחוננו. במסגרת הזאת, אני השארתי לחיל האוויר להפציץ יכולות צבאיות אסטרטגיות שהשאיר צבא סוריה, כדי שאלה לא ייפלו בידי הג'יהאדיסטים. זה דומה למה שחיל האוויר הבריטי עשה כשהוא הפציץ את הצי של משטר וישי ששיתף פעולה עם הנאצים, כדי שזה לא ייפול בידי הנאצים. אנחנו רוצים יחסים תקינים עם המשטר החדש בסוריה. אבל אם המשטר הזה יאפשר לאיראן לחזור להתבסס בסוריה, או יאפשר העברת נשק איראני או כל נשק אחר לחיזבאללה, או יתקוף אותנו, אנחנו נגיב בעוצמה. אנחנו נגבה ממנו מחיר כבד. מה שקרה למשטר הקודם, יקרה גם למשטר הזה. אין לנו כוונה...
Yeah, I think that's a great analogy, by the way. It's actually a perfect analogy by talking about what happened in the Vichy regime. You know, some might say, well, you don't know what the weapons, what regime or what ideology will end up running Syria, and therefore they'll say, so you can't just preempt this. Well, actually, no, Israel can preempt this. When the rebels themselves have been saying, we wish to conquer Jerusalem, there's video clips of them saying that. Now, they might not represent all of them, but it's clear there's a lot of them. When we know this is a region deeply plagued with jihadist extremism, basically, when there's so much of a context, a precedent for a religious, ideological hatred of Israel in this region, in this part of the world, amongst the rebels, then it's not like Israel's coming up with this notion that they're going to be hostile to Israel out of thin air. And therefore, yes, Israel has every right, more than that, a duty to take this preemptive action. So I think it's important that we have that kind of moral clarity, because there will be people out there who will be pointing the finger at Israel, including Erdogan, who, by the way, is becoming an increasingly hostile actor against Israel. He's now housing Hamas. Not Qatar anymore, it's Turkey that houses the remaining Hamas leaders. And what's this going to mean? What does this mean that Turkey, who's a member of NATO, is being so hostile to Israel? What would it mean if Israel, like they did with Ismail Haniyeh, wants to send in their Mossad operatives to assassinate Hamas leaders? That would potentially be considered an attack on a NATO ally, on a NATO member. And the rules of NATO is that attack one, attack all. So that would potentially mean that, would that mean that NATO would have to go to war against Israel if Israel did that? Now, I'm sure Israel will be careful with that. I can't see NATO doing that. But these are important questions that needs to be asked. Erdogan has shown himself to be a supporter of evil, supporter of terrorism. He sent his good wishes to Haniyeh and met with him, Ismail Haniyeh, the head of Hamas, in the aftermath of October 7th, and called him a martyr. His grandchildren a martyr, and then when he died, called him a martyr for the cause of Palestine. This guy is a supporter of evil, really. And all I can say is, people that do that, like Ismail Haniyeh, and like all other enemies of the Jewish people throughout history, will meet the same end. It's strange that the Jewish people's enemies never really seem to learn. But anyway, thanks for watching this video. Again, if you can, please do partner with us by clicking on the link in the video description to donate to our crowdfunder. There's going to be real strength in numbers. If we can all do this and pull together, then we can have a massive impact. We get a lot of views on JTV. So if everyone was able just to chip in, then we'll have a really significant impact. If you want to watch that video that I showed you in the middle, if you want to send it to people, encourage people to donate, the video is on the link to donate. And I just encourage you not just to donate as well, but if you believe in what we're doing, to share the link with your friends, family, and contacts. Together, collectively, we can have a major, major impact. Thanks so much.